he was noodling around, and he's like, Brooch, there's no white there's no white keys. I can't. No, these notes I can play on the white keys. And so we had to play on all the black keys, which I don't know if you know a piano, but I should know better. I'm going to say all the black keys are minor keys. Okay, so here we go. The first Read the Bread podcast. God bless. Man, you have no clue how excited I am. At the same time, my mouth hurts. It's not a ideal scenario to be doing a podcast when your mouth hurts. But anyway, here we are, and we're gonna press on. So for this first song, this is actually a single. This, I really wanted it to come out like New Year's Day, but you know how life is. Sometimes life gets in the way, and just excited to be releasing it because it's about a new birth. It's, the song is from looking at my main songwriting book. It's from June 14th, 2022. And, I'd really be interested to actually go back and look at the journals, the ledgers, and see what was going on. I need to start taking better notes, and actually maybe keeping up with this maybe will help me to take better notes and document more of what quite was going on and stuff. I've gotten better through the years, but I could get a lot better with it. But anyway, so this song is called Start Again, and let me take you back to where it was. It was right before I ended up getting COVID for the first time, and I was, it's a very prophetic song. As I was working at a retreat. Well, it wasn't a retreat. It was a camp for the summer. And they actually have retreats there. And it's called Common Ground. And it's in Oberlin, Ohio. And, man, just a beautiful place. Beautiful facility. The outside. I actually had... I don't want to get too deep in this first one, but I had a vision, and maybe a half a year or a year ahead of time of working there. How do you explain that? I have no clue. I just remember it wintertime, and I was driving with the girls, and I had this dream that I was going to work out at Common Ground. And I drive out there with the girls, and I'm just like, hey, I just, I didn't want to tell them that. But Kenny was there, and, he said, yeah, go ahead and go check it out. Go ahead and go explore. And it's a beautiful area. I remember taking the girls out there, and I remember thinking, yeah, I'm going to start next week or something. But it ended up working the summer of 2022, and something dramatically happened to me out there, and it's hard to put into words. I don't. It must have been God's timing for me to change, or something spark up that was new, because it was just His time to help transform some old habits, thought processes, and it's a very prophetic song, and so I would say that's what was going on during the time. Some of that change was, this was it was an overall change, but it was with the phone. When you went to work, you didn't get no signal out there. And I didn't realize how much I was glued to that phone. Almost like Esther used to say, like, right when cell phones first came out, she would talk about it. I remember her saying, I love these cell phones, but at the same time, I feel like a dog on a leash with these because it's always there. And something about that phone, something about working a whole summer without that phone, it sparked something up in me, and it started a big change in my life, and I'm very thankful for it. Like I said, I don't know how to describe it. It's just, if it was the anointing of that place, or if it was, like I said earlier, it must have been God's time for me to just clear some garbage out, and he really did. But anyway, that's what was going on. The thing about this song is it's so unique in that the tuning of it, I have no clue. I'm not a, what's the word, technical player or like theory. Forget it. My buddy Pat, phenomenal theory. It just blows me away. I rarely play in a regular tuned guitar, so for some reason, now stay with me here. For some reason, this is okay. It starts with an E. I usually play with a lot of drop D tunings. I've got a tuner right in here, so I know what's on. To me, when I hear this, it's almost like you're playing an E major chord, which would be open 2 2 1 open open. So this is just me playing open strings. To me, that's an E chord. Now, what is it? E, and then it tunes up to a B. E, G sharp, B, and an E. Okay, so we got that. Stay with me. Capo, 2nd fret. Takes it up to, I believe, an F sharp. And then you got these, if you've never heard of it and you're a songwriter and you're into alternative tunings and different capos, go get a spider capo. Man, I've had this spider capo for years. It's built tough. You get the coolest, you can just really come up some amazing, just, I don't even know what you call them, minors, roots or something. You slap that thing on. So anyway, this is on the 7th fret. And I hate to get too into this with the guitar, because I'm sure there's people listening on, what is he talking about? Maybe I'll put something on there so you can skip it. So anyway, if you're a guitar player, so now I have it. It's open, and then spider capo on the 7th, and then open, another open, 7th. So basically, it's F sharp. This song, I've never had a song that's in F sharp, and I didn't really know that until we were recording a year later with it in Butler. My buddy Adam Butler, phenomenal ear and phenomenal builder. Man, just so many gifts. But he made some time to play the accordion on this, and man, he really guided this song into what it is. But anyway, he was noodling around, and he's like, Brooch, there's no white there's no white keys. I can't. None of these notes are. I can play on the white keys. And so we had to play on all the black keys, which I don't know if you know a piano, but I should know better. I'm going to say all the black keys are minor keys. So just a little inside, I guess, or background. So the song is in F sharp. A lot of fun to play. This came out, like I said, I have no clue how that tuning came about. I don't remember at all. Obviously, I usually go down in tuning. It's kind of different for me to go up. So, like I just had that classical guitar. It's a little easier to tune up on a classical guitar for me. So anyway, that's the uniqueness of it. Now, for the lyrics, let's dive into this because this is gonna be fun. So sometimes I take a walk, just wish that it would rain. You know, I really don't know where that came from, but to me, man, that's just a great start to a song. And it just says something about you just need this release. Just where you just let go. You ever, I don't know about you guys, but man, I've had a couple in my lifetime where you release with those tears, and it's a healing time. It's a transformational time. I didn't really go through that with this, that I recall. Now, when I did have COVID, oh man, I would say right after this, maybe a week after that, if that, man, that kicked the crap out of me. And, I do remember crying for that. I remember leaving a message for my brother, actually, Stevie, and I remember he just called and said, "Hey, how you doing, man?" I called back, left a message, and I just remember crying on that this message or something. I remember crying afterwards because my throat hurt so bad, and I choked on some tea, and I couldn't breathe. It was so scary, and I said, "Can't do this anymore. I got to go to the hospital." And made it there, and they really took care of me. I was over it. I was just on that hill, just on the hump, man. I just needed that support, somebody to say, "You know what? No, you're gonna be okay, man." And wow, takes me back. It's good to reflect on this. So anyway, it's part of that. Because the tears come falling down. Man, a good cry is good for your soul. If you can get out and do it, like I said, I've had some great cries in my lifetime. I mean, less than a handful of just a washing away, just where it's uncontrollable. I think of the dog that we had. I think of when I first sobered up. I think of the amends over with Mossman. It's just where you let it go. So anyway, that's the start of the song. It's a picture of it. Man, wish it'd just rain. I could just walk in that rain and cry. What a picture. But anyway, second verse. One time I woke up scared and all alone. You know, this was back, I just shared this with Sarah. She's probably heard it multiple times. She's probably one of the only ones I've ever shared it with. And, there was a time when I was maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6, maybe 7, I don't know. Anyway, I was sick, and I had this scary dream, something with the closed chute. And I was back on Rosedale, and I just remember being so scared as a kid. And there was this nightlight. I would say I was scared to get up and go to my parents. I was scared to go to their room, knock on the door, or whatever. I just remember holding on to this nightlight. And I don't remember anything afterwards. So, I don't know. Why would I not go to my parents? Why would I not ask for help? Anyway, it's been a lifetime of that. I would say that was maybe some of the start of it. Now it has gotten better, but anyway, is it just because I'm a male or what? How come I've always struggled with reaching out for help? I don't know, but that was back when. That was an experience I went through, and the lyrics say, "Was the voice I heard upstairs." That scared and all alone was the voice I heard upstairs. That's what I was telling myself. You're all alone. Really, I've never been alone. God has always had my back. He's really blessed me with a lot of great people, wonderful parents, wonderful support all through my life. But I would say that's the lie that I would be believing. Like, you're alone, and that's not true. Sometimes we need to reach out. Now, how many years later? I'm 44 now. So 40 years later, I find myself in a position of an opportunity of being able to really get creative and dive into these songs. And, I haven't been making money, but God has provided. There's been some money come in. I wouldn't be doing this without family and friends. They really blessed us. The Lord has led the way. As long as I'm have time and able to continue going, I'm really going to focus on this creative spurt, so to speak, and seek God's will day at a time. I'm not afraid to work, but I've really been able to dedicate a lot of time to diving into, like I said, music, getting creative. And where the heck am I going with this? Excuse me. I'm not sure. Lost it. Lost it. All right, forget it then. My point was, okay, 40 years later, I'm kind of in the position where I have to ask for help. I've had to ask for help in sobriety. It's so hard, so challenging. But when it's life and death, sometimes you got to do whatever it takes. So anyway, 40 years later, I'm having to ask for support from my parents. I didn't go and knock on their door. Maybe I should have. But anyway, help with getting to Hannah for her schooling. And came up with being able to pay for half with them. To have to ask your parents when you're 44 years old for support like that, not easy. I don't remember how I worded it. But anyway, they willingly obliged. So I take it as if I would have knocked on the door, they would have been right there for me. But it was up to me, and I chose not to. For some reason, fear or pride, I can do it. I'm not sure. But anyway, so just side note, if you've ever been stuck in something, had so many experiences, so many negative experiences, but when you turn that over to the Lord, He'll give you another chance. I guarantee it. It's happened so many times in my life. So anyway, let's keep going because I'll never get done with this if I don't. But that was then, and this is now. And I would say from that last comment, it's a whole nother ballgame. And with spirituality, with God by your side, all things are possible. Pick up the pieces, leave it all behind, start again. I wanted to comment on, I made some notes. I can't find them now. But anyway, I made some notes of, I've always been willing to not work. I've always had it in me. Some of the best times for me is just traveling with the guitar and just, what's the word? Just being creative. And so I've never, now my brother got the work genes, like I mentioned before, Stevie. He got the work genes. I got zilch. I got the sports and music, but he got the work genes. So anyway, when I first started out, I would say when we sobered up, and that was back in 2000. And I remember working at Walmart for my first job, cart pusher. And I I don't want to go too far off here, but so anyway, the start again part. So after maybe a year, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, maybe it's 2 years. I was new in my spirituality, new with my walk with God, new with sobriety. Everything was new. And I would take these days, and I would go and I'd warm up my voice, and I would play music. And then there was Darren Live from Colorado. I listened to them. And it was about 11. Then there was another religious one that came on at noon. Just a great thing. But anyway, I got these tapes from Goodwill, and it was on. I should have wrote it down. Something. I think some of you know Scripture or the Bible know it was where Paul says something about you forget about the past and you're pressing on. And I remember that tape, and I listened to that tape, and it was a series. I don't remember who it was, but I should look in the ledgers. But anyway, it's about leaving the past behind and pressing in for the goal and the target that God has for you. And I just remember that from that tape. I don't remember anything else, but I remember that. And he kept repeating that verse through the whole tape series. There's probably 5 or 6 tapes in that thing. And he just kept repeating that verse. And anyway, so that got stored in my brain. But anyway, let's keep going on this. Verse 3. Sometimes I wish that I could fly away from the noise in my head. Well, I think a lot of people can probably relate to that. I guess, who are you listening to, or who are you feeding up there, or what's going on up there? Like I said earlier, I've lived with a lot of fear, a lot of doubt, a lot of anxiety. God's brought me a long ways, and He's carried me a long ways, and I think we all have noise up in our upstairs, but something to notice it. I think when you start to notice some of that, and that may be where some of the core beliefs, which I'm really interested in diving into some of mine. It's I'm very interested in the topic because you have some of those core beliefs about the world and about yourself, and I really don't feel like I've really pressed into that too much. But let's just say this: I would like to, and it's close to my heart. Anyway, stop the chatter, that chatter up in your head, the noise up there, and practice what I preach. I'd like to share this about what my brother said. Got my brother on here a lot. He's been a huge help to me. He's the best listener that I know of. I've been around a lot of counselors, a lot of professionals. Nobody compares to my brother. Just a phenomenal listener. He's got a natural gift for it. That's a blessing from God. Anyway, I said something like, B, I'd really like to do something that nobody else in the world can do. Something that's really unique. And he paused, and he came back with this. He said, you know what, Red? You just follow through on what you say you're going to do, and you'll do that. And I tell you what, that hit home, man. It's like, that's something that I'd really like to work on. I'm more of a talker. Hate to say it. I do like to just, hey, we need to do this, but I'm not very good at following through, and I need to get better at that. But anyway, man, I wish I could do better at practicing what I preach. And anyway, that came from my brother, and that never left me. Keep practicing. Man, this is it's spirituality and learning how to self-regulate, learning how to just breathe, to stay with some of those difficult emotions. For me, it's a lifelong practice, and it's a day at a time for me. Verse 4. Okay, one time I went out exactly as I was scared to death. Okay, so I had this camp. They a lot of the campers and a lot of the counselor leaders, one of the activities they had was painting your nails. I've never done it, ever. And ended up, I didn't want to, but one of the kids did. Like, hey, come on, man, let's paint you up. Oh, okay. And so I did, and it was a different experience. I think people look at you differently, or I felt people, because you leave camp. It's such a freeing place over there at Common Ground. You're able to be yourself, let your hair down, and just kind of let loose in a way. And then you get out and, whatever, you're out in public, and people kind of, I don't know, even Sarah, even my wife, was just kind of look at me and be like, what are you doing? I didn't do it. Some other kid did it. Put the blame on somebody else. But anyway, it just, I remember before going into church, I remember being scared to death to go to church. That's a sad thing, because my nails were painted. Why? I don't know. Figured somebody would be judging me, like, what? And so, that was a real thing. It was a real thing. And I would say being scared to death, just be yourself, exactly as you are. People in the 12-step program have really helped me out with that. But for this year, I would say, this is my year to come out and to be myself, and to share my experiences and my personal experiences with the Lord. And I've always been a quiet person, reserved person, and it's time for me to share about what the Lord's done in my life. Have a lot of awesome experiences that the Lord has done for me, and just feel like it's time to kind of let some of those out. So obviously we'll get to them, but let's keep going. So used to hiding and lying all the time. I don't know. It's hard to be yourself. Hard for me, and I don't know why. The heck am I hiding? What am I hiding for? Lying all the time about who I am. At my core, I went through difficult grieving process. There's an album on that, in Heal. And, there was two things that really struck home, because my whole world got rocked with that grief. And the two major things about who I am is that, I am a child of God. I belong to the Lord, and I am sober by His grace. Those are the two things that came out of to my core. And, it's looking back now, I'd say, yes, I'm part of a family, earthly family as well, but there's a lot of different things that I am, but those were the core ones that I got out of that experience. Anyway, that was them. This is now. Pick up the pieces, leave it all behind, start again. Man, you can start again. You can start over. One of the things that I learned in the 12-step program that I've carried with me for a long time. Somebody once said, you know what? You can start your day over at any time. And I try and preach that to the kids, to the girls. They say that, oh man, they can't get their boot on. This is the worst day. Okay, well, you can start your day over at any time. It's just it's a difficult moment. And man, you don't have to let something ruin your whole day. You can start your day over at any time. Now, is it easy to do? Not necessarily. Sometimes you need other people. Sometimes you need that spiritual help from the Lord to help you get through that. And being around people has helped me with that. But anyway, that's been a huge thing that I've never forgotten from that meeting. Anyway, this whole thing's about starting again. We did a video for it, for the song. And it was starting again, starting over. Anybody can do it. You can start over. Anytime, any day. And I would say the first thing I would start with would be getting honest with yourself, getting honest with God, saying a quick prayer, something from the heart, and starting with that. So anyway, so the last part, I actually take the spider capo off of the song. And this last part just kind of came in, I don't remember, probably newer, maybe 2 or 3 months ago maybe, when recording it. So, over the mountains and across the sea, you and I were meant to be. Kind of turns into like a love story. All through the valley and across the tide, I am yours and you are mine. That, I would say that's more of a spiritual thing. But I would say that God uses people to express and show his love. In the scriptures, Jesus is exemplified as the good shepherd. And I picture Jesus as somebody who is willing to go after, to take the hard route through the mountains, cross the river. You're going through some tough stuff to be able to be there and to find that lost sheep. That's my picture of Jesus. His dedication, his love, his perseverance, his let's get this done. Let's go. We're going to find this. We're going to find this person. We're going to help this person. And I love that. I love that about the Lord. And I feel like he has done that for me. I feel like God is pursuing. He's in the business of pursuing people and hearts. And sometimes we need somebody to go and live that. Sometimes we need to follow that call of the Lord. If you got the Lord inside you, sometimes you got to go through some tough stuff yourself. Sometimes you got to go through some tough stuff to get to somebody else. And to me, that's my picture of Jesus. That's my God. And that gets me excited. You can tell. But anyway, I would say if there's any scripture to put in, I would put that in there, man. I would say it'd probably be something from the Old Testament. I should have prepared this a little better. Something from the Old Testament. There was, I don't remember who it was, but it was one of those prophets. They were saying, man, these guys are not shepherds, man. They're not the real deal, these false prophets. Man. We have a lot of false prophets today. I mean, to me, it'd be somebody promoting something other than the Lord, something that you can do yourself, Sometimes you can't make it on your own, as that U2 song goes. So anyway, that's the song. This is the first one. And let me just look at my notes here, see if there's anything else I want to add to it. I don't want to keep blabbing on. I would say let's leave it at that. appreciate you sitting down. If you've made it through this, God bless you, man. It's just amazing. There's a lot in that track. And like I said, I'd say the biggest takeaway for me is the tuning and the almost prophecy of it, or it's amazing how some of those songs are like that, prophetic. Like, who knew that just working at a summer camp for one summer could change your life, the inner work? And maybe I'll talk more about that later, but man, okay, let's leave it at that. Appreciate you slowing down, spending some time, and I really would like to do some acoustic songs for these. The only thing is, I don't know if I can play that last part on that. To be honest, I can play the verse and the chorus, but that last part, some of the words. Oh, and I skipped through some words because I didn't write them down in that big book. Come on, I need to prep better. What are those words? Well, let's leave it at that. I don't want to keep blabbing away here. I got to give my mouth a rest. Okay, go with the Lord, be yourself, and God bless.
This is now. Pick up the pieces, leave it all behind. Start again, start again. Sometimes I take a walk. Just wish that it would rain. Tears come falling down. My tears come falling down. One time I woke up scared and all alone. Was a voice that I heard upstairs. Back when I was young. When I was young, that was then, but this is now. Pick up the pieces, leave it all behind. Start again, start again. Sometimes I wish that I could fly away from the noise in my head. Stop the chatter, practice what I preach. Keep practicing, practicing. One time I went out exactly as I was. I was so scared to death. So used to hiding, lying all the time about who I am, who I am. That was then, but this is now. Pick up pieces, leave it all behind. Start again, start again. Over the mountains and across the sea, you and I were meant to be. All through the valley and across the tide, I am yours and you are mine. Over the mountains and across the sea, you and I were meant to be forever in love. all through the valley and across the tide. I am yours and you are mine, forever in love me, forever in love with you, forever in love me, forever in love with you. How many mountains will I climb before you see me? Constant struggle just to be myself, my way. How many oceans will